And I know you are ready to quit. Maybe you really hate your job and can't wait any longer, but we are going to talk about the 10 things you need to do before quitting your job to become a TC or a virtual assistant. So you're thinking about quitting your job to go full-time as a transaction coordinator or virtual assistant? I get it. The freedom, flexibility, and being your own boss sound amazing. But before you make the leap, let's talk about the things you must do first to avoid burnout, financial stress, and regret. And I know you are ready to quit. Maybe you really hate your job and can't wait any longer, but I want you to be smart about your decisions, because if you stay in your current job until you are truly ready, you will use your job to fund your future business. So the first tip that I have for you is to keep your finances in order. No max out credit cards here, okay? You need to have at least 3 to 6 months of savings to cover both personal and business. And believe me, I talk from experience here. When I left the hotel to become a real estate agent, I wasn't financially ready. I had never lived off commissions or sales before, so it took some time for me to adjust. In the meantime, I hurt myself financially because I totally underestimated the time I needed to learn, to generate leads, to start working with clients, to put them under contract, and then to close those contracts. So do me a favor and do not rely on credit cards to fund your business. Start lean and smart. You can always invest back in your business once that you start generating cash, but not before. Also, I want you to prepare for taxes because they are coming for you. Unlike a traditional job, no one is automatically withholding taxes for you. So you need to set aside at least 25 to 30% of your income for taxes to avoid surprises. And this is why having a plan and a budget is extremely important. You need to understand that if you make, let's say, $1,000 in your business, you won't keep the whole amount. You will have to deduct taxes and expenses to understand how much you will actually have left. Also, I recommend that you cut down on unnecessary expenses. And again, we are talking here about both business and personal. You don't need any fancy software or a huge marketing budget right away. So at the beginning, stick to free or low-cost tools that will help you to keep your expenses low. And for more information about that, you can check out my video here on free tools for virtual assistants and transaction coordinators. Now, my next tip for you is to secure your first few clients before quitting. I want you to test the waters by taking on clients while you are still employed. And I want you to have consistent income from at least 1 to 3 clients before making the transition. And I also know that if you're trying to become a transaction coordinator, it can be extremely difficult to handle files and serve not just your clients, but all the parties involved if you're stuck in a 9 to 5 job, especially if you have no access to your phone or computer during business hours. Because you know that the lender and the title company work during business hours, and that's when most of the action happens. If they try to reach out to you and you're never available, that might cause issues. If they ask for paperwork during business hours and you can't send it until after hours, they won't receive it until the next day, and that can also cause delays. The good news is there are ways around this. For example, you could offer compliance-only services at the very beginning, where you only handle the paperwork for broker approval and nothing else. You won't have to coordinate or talk to any of the parties involved. Now, if you found that tip helpful, please like and subscribe. Now, my next tip is to know exactly what services you will offer. Are you going to specialize in contract to close, listing coordination, admin support, marketing, all of the above, whatever that might be? I want you to define your pricing and packages. I don't want you to quit without knowing your worth. Think about it. The more clarity you have, the better you will be able to sell your services. And no worries, because you can always make adjustments as you grow. My next suggestion for you is to build your online presence and reputation if you are not well known in your niche. So you need to start working on that as soon as possible. In order to do that, I want you to create a professional looking website, if at all possible, at the beginning. Definitely create your LinkedIn account and any social media accounts that you feel comfortable with. I want you to start networking with realtors, brokers, and other entrepreneurs in your niche. This is a must. And hear me out. These require consistency, and you have to be very, very intentional about reaching out to people. At the beginning, it won't be the other way around, so keep that in mind. So next will be to set up your business foundations. And you may decide to work as a sole proprietor or maybe form an LLC. That's totally up to you. But whatever decision you make, I want you to absolutely have a separate bank account for your business in order to track income and expenses. I also want you to get familiar with contracts, invoicings, and tax responsibilities, as we talked already. Also, I want you to protect your business legally. This is an extremely important step. You need to have a TC agreement in place that outlines all the services you offer, how you get paid, when exactly, and how to solve potential issues legally. And I beg you, please do not use a random agreement you found online. You don't know who wrote it or if it actually protects you legally. I will leave a link below to the legal templates I use for my TC agreement, for my website disclosures, and for contracts when I hire my contractors. And most people understand that they need to handle their accounting and financial side of the business. But did you know that you also have to pay attention to the legal side? Now, the next thing is to test your lead generation strategy. Where will your next client come from? Cold outreach, referrals, social media? I want you to create a repeatable system to get clients consistently before you quit your 9-to-5. I want you to get comfortable with sales and especially with handling objections. Remember, it's not enough to be a great TC, you will have to be a marketer too. And let me tell you, most networking events happen after hours. So no excuses. Even if you have a 9-to-5, you can still attend events and build your network. Do you have a lead generation plan already? Share with me in the comments. I am curious what the favorite strategy is for most aspiring TCs. Now, the next step is to learn the business side of being a TC or virtual assistant. Being a TC requires skills, and in my opinion, the best time to learn and implement systems is before you get your first client. By then, it's kind of too late. Think about it. When you get a contract in your hands, it's go time. You have deadlines. You won't have the time to start developing systems or asking around for help. So please do not practice on your clients. And if you are serious about quitting your job to become a TC, then make a plan. Buy a course, get a coach, maybe find a mentor. I have a free webinar on how to launch your TC business, so that might be a great place to start. Also, I want you to shift your mindset from employee to entrepreneur, okay? Because right now, there is no guarantee paychecks anymore. You have to stay consistent even on slow or bad days. And you should believe also in delayed gratification, because most business success doesn't happen overnight. Trust me, you will have to run your business like a business if you want to be successful. So once that you're ready to take the leap, I have a checklist for you. You can click right here.